Every night, long after the village lights turned off, one tiny shop stayed open at the top of Moonhill Street. It was called the Little Star Shop. Nobody really knew who owned it. Some animals said an old wizard lived there. Others believed stars themselves worked inside during the night. But only one thing was certain. Every morning, the shop disappeared. Then every evening, right as the first star appeared in the sky, the little glowing shop returned again. A small bear named Oliver thought about the shop constantly. He passed it every evening while helping his mother deliver bread across the village. Warm golden lights glowed through the windows. Tiny bells chimed softly inside, and strange magical objects floated gently through the air. Tiny cloud jars, bottled moonlight, sleeping stars resting on velvet pillows. It felt impossible not to stare. "Don't wander too far," Oliver's mother always warned kindly. But one rainy evening, while carrying the final bread basket home, Oliver noticed something strange. The shop lights were flickering, not glowing warmly like usual, flickering nervously, almost scared. Oliver slowly walked closer. The sign above the door creaked softly in the wind. The Little Star Shop. Then suddenly, the lights inside went dark, completely dark. Oliver froze. The entire street became silent. No glow, no music, no floating lights. For the first time ever, the Star Shop looked empty. Oliver swallowed nervously. Then the door slowly opened by itself. Creak! Warm dust floated into the rain. Oliver peeked inside carefully. The shop looked incredible. Shelves stretched endlessly upward. Tiny lanterns floated through the air like sleepy fireflies. Constellations moved slowly across the ceiling. Clouds drifted lazily between bookcases. And near the back counter stood the smallest fox Oliver had ever seen. The fox wore oversized glasses and a tiny blue scarf. She looked exhausted. "Oh, good," she sighed when she noticed Oliver. "You're finally here." Oliver blinked. "Me?" The fox quickly climbed onto a stack of books. Yes, you. There's a huge problem." Oliver stepped closer carefully. "What happened to the lights?" The fox lowered her ears sadly. "The stars are fading." Oliver looked upward. The glowing ceiling constellations flickered weakly. One tiny star even disappeared completely. "What do you mean fading?" The fox pointed toward a glass machine near the counter. Inside floated dozens of tiny glowing stars. Most glowed softly, but some barely shined at all. "The Star Shop keeps the valley's nighttime dreams glowing," the fox explained. "When stars lose hope, their light fades." Oliver looked confused. "How do stars lose hope?" The fox looked toward the rainy window, the same way people do. That answer stayed in Oliver's mind quietly. Then suddenly, pop! Another star inside the machine went dark. The fox gasped. "Oh no!" The room dimmed slightly. Oliver looked around nervously. What happens if all the stars fade? The fox became very quiet. Then dreams disappear too. Outside, thunder rumbled softly. Oliver stared at the fading stars, then at the tiny, worried fox. "What should we do?" The fox adjusted her scarf quickly. "We need to relight the heart star before midnight." Oliver blinked. "The what?" The fox pointed upward. High above the shelves floated a giant golden star hidden among clouds. Unlike the others, it barely glowed anymore. "That star powers every dream in the valley." Oliver looked nervous. "How do we relight it?" The fox grabbed a tiny satchel and tossed it toward him. "By collecting lost hope." Oliver caught the bag awkwardly. "Lost hope is a real thing?" "In this shop, everything is real." Before Oliver could ask more questions, the entire shop shook. Books rattled. Lanterns flickered. Outside, the rainstorm grew stronger. "We don't have much time," the fox said. Then she pointed toward a glowing door that hadn't been there before. It shimmered with silver light. "Where does that go?" Oliver asked. The fox smiled slightly. "To the places where hope got left behind." Oliver stared nervously at the door, then slowly tightened his grip on the satchel. "Okay." The silver door opened. Warm wind rushed out, and suddenly Oliver stepped into a completely different world. He stood inside a giant meadow beneath floating stars. The grass glowed blue. Tiny lights drifted through the air like fireflies. Far away sat a small deer beneath a tree. Its head rested sadly against the trunk. Oliver walked closer. The deer looked up weakly. "My lantern broke," it whispered. Beside the deer sat a shattered lantern. Without it, the deer couldn't guide travelers through the forest anymore. "Nobody needs me now." Oliver remembered the satchel. Slowly he opened it. Inside, soft golden light appeared. Tiny, warm, hope. The satchel gently pulled one glowing thread from the deer's chest. The lantern piece floated upward into Oliver's bag. The deer blinked, then suddenly smiled a little. "You know," the deer whispered softly, "maybe I can rebuild it." Instantly, the meadow brightened. The floating stars glowed stronger. Oliver looked around in amazement. The satchel shimmered warmly. It worked. Then whoosh! The silver door appeared again. The fox peeked through. "One down." Oliver smiled proudly. But the fox looked worried. "The heart star is fading faster now." The next world was colder. Snow covered everything. A tiny penguin sat beside a frozen lake staring sadly at the sky. "My kite never flew," the penguin whispered. Oliver helped untangle the broken string. The penguin tried again. This time the kite soared beautifully into the snowy sky. Another glowing thread of hope filled the satchel. Then another world. A lonely scarecrow standing in an empty field. A bee too scared to fly after a storm. A small whale afraid to sing. One by one, Oliver helped them find tiny pieces of hope again. And each time, the satchel glowed brighter. But back inside the star shop, things were getting worse. Stars flickered violently. Entire shelves disappeared into darkness. The fox paced nervously. "Hurry!" Finally, after the last glowing thread filled the satchel, Oliver returned to the shop. The heart star now barely glowed at all. The ceiling sky above them Oliver looked at the fox. "What now?" The fox pointed upward. "Now we give the hope back." The satchel floated from Oliver's paws. Golden lights spiraled upward through the shop, warm, bright, beautiful. Every tiny piece of hope they collected rose together toward the heart star. The giant star pulsed once, then twice. Then suddenly, the entire shop exploded with golden light. Whoosh! Stars burst across the ceiling. Constellations reignited. Lanterns floated high through the air. Outside, the rain clouds parted instantly. The whole valley glowed beneath thousands of bright stars. The heart star shimmered brighter than ever. Oliver stared upward, speechless. The fox smiled softly beside him. "You did it!" Oliver looked around the magical glowing shop. "But why me?" The fox adjusted her glasses. "Because you noticed the lights were fading," Oliver thought quietly about that. Then he smiled. Outside, the village animals stepped out of their homes in amazement. Children pointed toward the glowing sky. The stars looked bigger that night, warmer too. Oliver slowly walked toward the shop door. "Will I see you again?" The fox grinned playfully. The shop appears whenever someone needs a little hope. Then the bells above the door chimed softly, and the little star shop glowed warmly once more at the top of Moonhill Street. Just like always. Except now, Oliver finally knew what kept the stars alive. Tiny moments of hope, shared together. Subscribe for more magical stories.